Hey, it's Bill with Port City Living. I want to talk to you about negotiations during the due diligence period. This is a time where we're going to comb through the home, investigate it from one end to the other, and make sure this property is right for you. Now, if you're not familiar with due diligence, then you need to stop this video. You need to watch this one right here so you understand what due diligence is all about, because it's a very vital aspect of the home buying process. But during due diligence, the negotiation piece of it would look something like this. We're going to go through all the inspections that we need to, and we're going to pull it apart, and we're going to decide what is important to you as a buyer and what is not. Now, again, I've said this before in other videos. We don't want to nitpick the sellers over little things. We want to look at the big ticket stuff that's going to make a monetary impact on you down the road should you have to take care of it. So when we look through this inspection, all the inspections that we've done, we want to pull out the things that are important to you as a buyer and what you think that the seller needs to handle. Now, I want you to note something. In North Carolina, on the offer to purchase and contract, it is stated that you, the buyer, are buying the home as is. So anything that we request the seller to do, they're doing it as a compliment in trying to get the deal to close. They don't have to do anything, so just note that, okay? So what we would do is put together a list of due diligence requests of things that we want repaired or addressed. And then we will sign off on that, send it over to the seller for them to take a look at it. Now, this could play out many different ways. They could come back and say, we're not fixing anything. I'm sorry, but if you want the house, you're going to take it the way it is. Or they could come back and say, we'll fix some things, but not others, whatever. Sometimes I've seen it where the buyer would say, I don't live in Wilmington or in North Carolina, and I don't have access to people to fix it. So why don't we just get estimates, and then we'll give you a credit for X amount of dollars. You, the buyer, will have to determine, is that good for you? The good thing about getting a credit is that you're coming off the price of the house, or it's paying for some of your closing costs. So that's a good thing. But then you'll have to actually take care of the work yourself. But that's probably not always a bad thing, because then you're going to be in control. You can hire the people to do the job the way you want it done. Sometimes if we ask sellers to fix things, if we're not real specific in the verbiage of how we say it, they could actually take care of the issue and not do it well. Or they could hire people that don't know what they're doing to fix issues, and they not do it well either. So sometimes it's good to get a credit and put the ball back in our park so that we can control how it's handled and taken care of. But either way, that's some of the negotiation that will go on during due diligence. Let's talk about appraisal. This is another thing that we would want to negotiate should the appraisal not come back high enough. If it doesn't, then what we could potentially do is go back to the seller and say, Mr. Miss Seller, the appraisal came in a little bit low. Would you consider coming down to the appraisal amount? This can play out several ways too. They could say, no, you can buy the house the way it is. And for what it appraised for. If they do that, then that means you have the option of either paying the balance at closing, or you walk away, one of the two. Or they could come back and say, we'll split it with you, we'll split it halfway. Or they could say, yeah, we'll come down to the appraised value, that's fine. So that's another piece of the negotiation during this period of time. So negotiations are important, and professionals like myself are here to kind of help you and navigate you through these crazy waters. But once we're past due diligence, then you can relax a little bit, because things are pretty much smooth sailing from that point on to the settlement date. So if you have any questions about negotiations during due diligence, just reach out to me and I'll help you out any way that I can. I'm Bill Corbett with Port City Living. Thanks so much for watching.